Hi, I'm Jim. Welcome to another edition of History in Your Own Backyard. Today we're in the beautiful countryside just outside Sunman, Indiana at St. Nicholas Catholic Church, and I'm speaking with Norma Newton. Norma.
Hello.
Hi. What can you tell me about St. Nicholas?
Oh, I can tell you a lot of stories about St. Nicholas.
Here I am.
And I can tell you stories. I go back to many generations of my ancestors that settled here in the community. And that was in about the 1820s when they came from Germany, Baden to be exact. Most of them came from there. And they would write home to their families back in Germany and entice them to come to America because they just loved it here. And after being here a while, they decided they missed going to church, not having a parish of their own like they were used to. So they would either ride horseback or walk to New Alsace to go to Mass on Sunday because they didn't have their parish.
So quite a distance.
Quite a distance. It was about 8 miles, and the priest would come from Oldenburg, Indiana to New Alsace to celebrate Mass. So in about 1835, they built a log cabin church here, and some of my ancestors were established here, and there were 3 parishioners at that time that donated the land, Louis Retzner, Joseph Smaltz, and Nicholas Federley. And we even had a Protestant neighbor who donated land to build this community here at St. Nicholas. And our priest that was here at the time, when they cut the trees down to build the log church, he named the church St. Nicholas after the patron saint of Nicholas Federley because he cut the first tree that built the church. So that's how we got established with a church here at St. Nicholas. And then in 1836, when they finally got a resident pastor here, they, with his help, raising some money, about $3,000 they tell me in the story, and the parishioners donating their work and manual labor, building the bricks out of the clay that's in front of the grounds here at the church, and built the church, the brick church that we now have here today. And
so the bricks came from where?
From below the parking lot in the front of the church. It's kind of carved out down here, and that was the clay, and that's what they used to mold these bricks that built this church.
So directly from the earth to this building.
To this building, that is
It's
correct.
really interesting.
Really, yes, very interesting that they could do that to me. And after they had the church built, then they also built, since the community was here, they built, there was a general store, there was a post office, there was a blacksmith shop, and of course there was a saloon. And they named this little town, this little community, St. Nicholasville.
What happened to St. Nicholasville?
Well, I think after, you know, as in anything else, as things spread out, they changed the name, and the actual postal address of St. Nicholasville was then Sunman is the mailing address, so then it became St. Nicholas Parish. This is the 3rd renovation of the church from originally. When the church was first built in the early on, was the big white beautiful altars adorned in gold. And then in the 2000s, the middle 2000s, this was redone and all these new altars were put in. The stained glass windows, which I'm very proud of, that's my family's stained glass window over there. That goes back many generations.
What's it say? What's the name there?
Really, R-I-E-H-L-E is, and that's German, and I'm sure, I don't know German, but I think that might mean donated by, because each of the windows has a name of the family that donated the stained glass window. And then they were renovated and several years ago and made more weather, you know.
Oh, yes.
So that the weather would be not a factor. But that's one of the things that stayed is the stained glass windows, the Way of the Cross, the stations were redone when the church was renovated. The Adoration Chapel was added at that time.
And that's
over here off of the sanctuary.
okay.
recarpeting the pews and things just redone to modernize the church.
Become very attractive.
And it is painted, designed from the church that St. Faustina in Poland, the church that she belonged to. So that's some of the decor that goes along with this church.
Really? What kind of stories can you tell me about what goes on here?
What goes on here is we have, as I said, the Adoration Chapel, which is a 24-hour, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. The Blessed Sacrament is exposed, and there's someone in the Adoration Chapel at that time. We have the school next door. We have daily Mass here every day. The school children attend daily Mass, as well as adults. We have the Parish Center, which was added in about the same time as some of the renovation was done. So there's many ministries that are formed and work out at the Parish Center. We have our Parish Hall, which hosts a lot of our other activities, our famous chicken dinner and a turtle soup supper.
It's good.
Very good. And different events for the school children. And as our resident priest now says, Father Whittington, the lighthouse at the top of the holy hill. And I just think that is so appropriate. Outside on the hill, we have the Pieta, I don't know, out under the pine trees. That was carved from one of the stumps of one of the big pine trees that had to be taken down, and that statue was carved out there, and we'll take a walk out there so you can see that.
That'd be very nice.
And that was done just in the last couple of years.
Norma, I'm noticing some of the decor of your church. What can you tell me about this?
Well, other than it's being very beautiful,
yes.
The Stations of the Cross, I think I talked a little bit, they used to be of a clay color, and then they were redone, and they're in color now, which really adds beautiful color to the church. And all the statues that we have in church, which are so beautiful, and some of them were painted. They were clay color at one time, and some of these were painted. The Virgin Mary, St. Joseph and the Christ Child, the apostles behind the main altar, Mother Teresa, St. Mother Teresa now, and Pope John the 23rd, and St. Gianni back in the back, and the statue of Christ the King back there in that corner.
Wow.
And upstairs is the picture of St. Nicholas, our patron saint, as he was, as the bishop. He was the one that left the candy and the wooden shoes in Holland for the kids at Christmas time. That's how we got to St. Nicholas. That's how the feast day, how I remember it as a kid, when we would hang our stockings out on the Feast of St. Nicholas and get that candy and all those good things that we didn't get any other time of the year.
Thanks for being with us at another edition of History in Your Own Backyard. Today we've been just outside Sunman, Indiana at St. Nicholas Catholic Church, and I've been speaking with Norma Newton. Norma?
Yes?
Remember, travel slowly and stop often.
Bye.